again. Let's start, Stephen, with the pharmaceutical sector and news of three big deals concerning the Swiss firm Novartis.
Yeah, big changes actually at the company announced just in the past hour or so. Novartis has said it's to buy a key cancer drug business from the British company GlaxoSmithKline for as much as $16 billion. In exchange, it's to sell its vaccine business, excluding the flu vaccines, to the firm for $7 billion. And it's also announced another deal to sell its animal health business to Eli Lilly for $4.5 billion. So $28 billion worth of deals coming out of Novartis this morning. This shake-up coming after the chief executive of the company, Joe Jimenez, began reviewing the business for possible sales last year. The company's looking to streamline its operations after sluggish profit growth in recent years. It's been hovering around $9 billion a year in recent years. Not bad earnings, but the company's looking to try and earn more.
OK, now next let's move on to the video service Netflix, which has announced its results.
Yeah, beating expectations yet again for Netflix. They managed to increase their profits by 9% in the first quarter of this year. The firm says it's expecting its international consumer base to expand by as much as 50%. This year. Netflix is looking to launch in countries including Germany and France, although they're facing some regulatory boundaries they have to overcome first. But despite these good results, the company says it will be increasing prices for new consumers. Mark Thompson has the story.
Nearly 50 million subscribers and counting. Netflix accounts for over a third of all videos streamed on the internet in the US alone. On Monday, the company reported a profit of $53.1 million. That's up on last year's first quarter. It also saw a boost in both US and international account holders. But subscribers are set to pay a little bit more than they're used to. New customers will have to stump up an extra $1 or $2 a month to sign up. Those with existing accounts are likely to see the price bump in another couple of years.
Welcome to Washington.
Original programming like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black has helped give Netflix the edge in a fast-growing market. It's not finished yet. The company is still aiming to double its domestic base, and it's also eyeing up international markets as US growth slows.
What we've become really convinced about is around the world, people want the convenience of internet on-demand video, and that really is a very big and broad need.
Meanwhile, Netflix is urging the US Justice Department not to allow the $45 billion merger of the country's two largest cable providers. It's warned that together, Comcast and Time Warner Cable would have free rein to charge unprecedented fees for broadband width, vital to the Netflix service.
Now that news from Netflix helping their shares up almost 7% in after-hours trading in New York. Netflix has seen its shares fall over recent weeks over these continuing fears we have of the stability of online and technology shares. It looks set to regain some of those losses when Wall Street opens later. Let's have a look at what's happening in the markets today, though, and that positive lead from the United States markets on Monday, helping things in Tokyo today, or at least it was earlier. Nikkei in Tokyo has now turned into negative territory in the afternoon session. They're down almost 1% in Tokyo. The Shanghai Composite and the Hang Seng not looking too healthy either, just the Kospi and Seoul nudging into the green there as traders say that volumes are still quite light today after the holiday weekend.
OK, and take us through the day's companies news.
We're going to start with the Chinese airline Shandong Airlines, which has ordered more than 50 Boeing 737s worth more than $4.6 billion. The aircraft will be delivered between 2016 and 2020. The purchase is part of Shandong's expansion of its fleet from 74 planes currently to 140 by 2020. Philips says its profits have been hit by difficult conditions in emerging markets, including China and Russia. Pre-tax profits of the Dutch firm fell 22% between January and March. Philips says its sales have been hit by fluctuating currency values and work stoppages at its healthcare plant in Cleveland in the United States. And a Chinese supplier to Nike and Adidas has ordered its workers to offered its workers more pay in a bid to end a strike that's now in its 7th day. These images, posted on social media earlier this month, show the workers at the Yiwen plant in Dongguan protesting over pay and benefits. Monitoring group the China Labour Bulletin says that at least 10,000 workers have been taking part in the strike, making it one of the biggest in China in recent history.
And finally, Stephen, for those looking to get on the property market there, you're saying good luck to them.
Yeah, it's not just called a property bubble anymore. They're now saying it's a super bubble that's happening in London. Demand way outstripping supply in the British capital. Prices rising 18% last year compared to a fall of 4% here in Paris, just to give one counterpoint to that. Now, by the end of this year, the price of an average house in London is expected to top €600,000. And on top of that, first-time buyers are being told they need more money if they want to get on the property ladder. The average budget they now need is €85,000 to be able to buy a property in London. That, according to property consultants JLL, takes in things like a deposit, but also the fees and taxes involved of buying a home in the United Kingdom. They also say they don't expect prices to fall in the medium term. This is something that we could be hearing about for years to come, they say.
I have to say, though, a house in London for €600,000 doesn't shock me compared to
On average,
Paris.
it comes into initial property prices would start at about 320 is the price of an average flat. But then if you take in the larger properties as well, it goes much higher.
Okay, well, it's still well out of my price range. Anyway.
Mine too.
Stephen Carroll, thanks very much for the latest business news. We turn now to today's web news, which includes, among other things, the idea of women-only public transport in Turkey and the blast-off of a reusable rocket.
Please help my 5-year-old son, British, in Syria, come home. The Foreign Office has abandoned him. This message was posted to Twitter on Sunday, 20th of April by London-based Syrian national Wael Zain to draw attention to the plight of his son, Maud, who's been stranded in Syria with his mother for 3 years, despite holding a British passport. His father's desperate to be reunited with him and has turned to the web to urge the authorities to take immediate action. Campaigning on social media has stepped up a notch. As his father explains on the microblogging site, Maud, who's currently living in a village outside the southwestern city of Dera, survived a bombing but was recently shot at and needs urgent medical attention. The British government has not yet responded to the appeal for help, but it has visibly caught web users' attention. They've been pledging their support for Wael Zain in his fight to be reunited with his son and hope their online campaigning will result in little Maud being able to leave Syria. A man sitting comfortably on the subway, spreading his legs with no regard for the woman sitting next to him. This picture is part of an online campaign launched by a feminist group in Istanbul and has gone viral since being posted online on April 15th. The aim is to draw attention to a problem encountered by countless women in Turkey, a total lack of respect from men on public transport. The campaign has been trending on Twitter, with web users posting under the "Stop Spreading Your Legs" or "Don't Occupy My Space" hashtags. Turkish women say they face this type of inappropriate behaviour on a regular basis and have decided it's time to speak up, also posting photos to back up their claims. In a bid to spare women from this type of situation where a man's leg is pressing up against them, some are even suggesting the implementation of a network of women-only pink buses. The proposal, which was put forward by the Islamist-rooted Felicity Party in February 2012 and had a certain level of online support, is reminiscent of the system used in Japan, where some carriages in the underground transport service are reserved for women. Not everyone supports this proposal, however. The instigators of the current campaign tweeted they are against single-sex transport. And web users have also been voicing their opposition to this idea, saying it doesn't promote equality. They feel the only way to resolve this problem of harassment on public transport is to make sure men learn how to conduct themselves. It's official. The business-orientated social network LinkedIn has hit the symbolic 300 million user mark. The bosses of the platform, which was created and launched in the US in 2003, have posted a message to the company's official blog praising its global success, as some 200 million members are based outside of America. American billionaire Elon Musk posted this spectacular footage online over the weekend, showing the first test flight of F-9R, the reusable rocket being developed by SpaceX. The video was filmed with a drone and shows a controlled vertical liftoff and landing. You can check it out on the SpaceX channel YouTube page.
Well, we're going to take a quick break now, but we're back in just a few minutes where, among other things, we'll be going to Cairo, where 3 Al Jazeera journalists are once again back in court.